So I'm sure you guys know the animal rights organization PETA, and PETA has been back in the news over the last couple of days, and the reason is honestly ridiculous. So as you may know, if you're a gamer or you keep up with, gaming news and culture, highly anticipated game God of War Ragnarok was just released to critical acclaim. People are loving this game, even up for Game of the Year contender. A lot of people love this game. It was really good for them, and everyone loves it. Well, everyone loves it except for PETA. So PETA actually decided to come out with a whole campaign against God of War Ragnarok, because in the game there's a boss mission where you fight a giant 60-foot tall wolf. Yes, I'm completely serious. This is what PETA, the animal rights organization, is using their time and resources to do. And honestly, I think it's just a big clout chase. I mean, only 18% of the people watching this video right now are actually subscribed to the channel. Don't be part of the 81%. Subscribe to the channel. You have nothing to lose. Nothing about this sounds serious, and if it is, I think there's a much more bigger problems to worry about. So PETA has taken issue with the depiction of animal violence in God of War Ragnarok, and one mid-game boss in particular. Earlier this week, the nonprofit took to social media to voice its displeasure with the game's treatment of a giant wolf-like creature from Norse mythology that players have to fight before getting to a certain location. Unlike PETA's recent protest against Kyle Rittenhouse's turkey shoot, the tone of its latest instance of game criticism suggests that the statement is meant to be more of a publicity stunt than a completely serious stand for animal rights. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals is one of the most well-known animal rights organizations on the planet, not least, but it's fairly up to date with the times, as evidenced by its long track record of successful politicalization of video games over the past years. PETA's use of gaming to highlight not just human mistreatment of animals, but the very perception of what constitutes animal abuse has had everything from meta protests of Animal Crossing, New Horizons, to attempt to remove chicken fighting from Far Cry 6. And you know what? Just like this article says, I definitely think it's just a publicity stunt. But as we said in other videos, not all publicity is good publicity. Now, of course, I've heard this term thrown around a ton because you know what? People just love getting attention. And you know what? Sometimes it's good. Even PETA getting all this attention from this silly campaign against God of War Ragnarok, it's getting them a lot of attention. And who knows, maybe 0.001% of people who heard about this are like, you know what, I actually agree with that. Let me go help PETA, let me go volunteer. But I think the majority, the overwhelming majority of people see this campaign where PETA is focusing their time and resources on criticizing, God of War Ragnarok, one of people's favorite games of the entire year, and they just think PETA's, a clown organization. It's not something to be taken serious. And at what point do the people at PETA really think that, getting publicity and getting their name out there, like as if the majority of people already know what PETA is worth it? They're doing this obviously for publicity and to get their name out there, even though the majority of people already know them. I guess they're just trying to stay relevant. But at what point is trying to stay relevant actually hurting your cause more than, helping it? Because I definitely think more people are going to look at this silly little controversy and go, well, that's just PETA being PETA, PETA being stupid again, and they're making a big deal out of, pretty much nothing, if we're going to be completely honest. And that's the thing, it's like, if they were a little more competent on how they, pick their campaigns, like, obviously this is getting publicity, but it's not in their favor, you know what I mean? Like, the only reason you should be trying to get publicity, especially as like a animal rights thing, is to get either donations or maybe new volunteers to help you out. Because if you didn't know, PETA actually puts down like thousands, if not tens of thousands of animals a year in their shelters, because it's like, I don't know why. If I had to guess, it's because it's so expensive to keep them in the shelter. They have to pay for food and water and everything that goes against it, medical treatment and shots, all this kind of crap. But you know what, they're focusing this time on getting publicity instead of getting good publicity. You know what? I'd love to see them change their track record of these silly little, controversies to actually doing something good, because you know what? I think most people can get behind what PETA is saying. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I'm not a vegan. I'm still gonna eat, meat and animals, so I'm not agreeing with that. But I think most people can get behind, not mistreating animals. You know what I mean? You shouldn't hurt animals for fun, and I think that's one of the core things PETA is trying to push, and the majority of people agree with that. If PETA was actually doing some really good things, and I think they need a completely brand change, because people don't like PETA, and for good reason. And if they want anything really good done, with animals, at least the ones in their shelter, they need the public support with them. They need people to volunteer. They need donations from the public, so they don't have to put down all these animals. But instead, they're just doing stuff for publicity. They're still putting down all these animals while, saying they're, morally superior to people who eat meat, instead of, they probably hurt more. Let's be completely honest. Who is going to hurt more animals this year? PETA putting down animals in their animal shelters, or God of War Ragnarok's depiction of a 60-foot tall wolf? I don't even know how they think that would hurt animals. I mean, again, this is probably a publicity stunt, but let's just say it's real. You know what I mean? Let's just say they're actually upset. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, people are genuinely upset over the most ridiculous things nowadays. So let's say they're actually upset, and they think fighting a 60-foot wolf in a video game somehow hurts animals in real life, or might inspire people to hurt animals in real life. I don't think there's coming back from that. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any talking off that cliff, because I don't know. I mean, I think PETA they're digging their own grave, and I don't understand why they continue to do this stuff. Staying relevant is not worth your horrible perception. And they even made this little video about it. And so this is obviously it's not serious in any kind of matter. You know what I mean? It's just like, how can you take not only the campaign serious, but the organization behind it serious in the slightest? But that's just my thoughts. You can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Yesterday we made a video about the controversial figure Andrew Tate, and how he's returned to the internet after being deplatformed this year. And you know what? He's more popular than ever. This is a video you're not going to want to miss. Click here to watch it now.